Okay, is everyone here who signed up? Okay, one person is. Okay, 4 more people. I think we have them. Okay, so it is Natalia here? We'll start with her.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start with your speech in just a moment. But before that, let's just do a formal welcome. So hi everyone, welcome to the ENGin Inspires in November event. Today we have 6 speakers speaking today, one of whom will not be able to attend, but he sent us a video. So yeah. For those of you who are new here, or if you're listening, I'm just going to do a quick recap of what ENGin Inspires is, though I'm sure many of you already are familiar with this organization. So ENGin Inspires, it's an opportunity for Ukrainian students who are part of ENGin to receive support in speech writing, and it allows them to give a speech in this little setting that we have here. And the reason ENGin Inspires is all about public speaking is, I mean, of course, you can practice your English with public speaking, but it's also something that you can apply to everything you do. So also, when you're just talking in Ukrainian, right, to your teachers or as a student, or if you want to give a speech, because the words that you say have the power to change the world, right? So yeah, some quick rules before we begin. While others are speaking, please keep your microphone muted until it's your turn to speak. And then just be respectful of others. And after each person finishes giving their speech in the chat, we're going to send them congratulations and give them nice comments about their speech. Does that sound good? Okay. So, one more person came. Yeah, we're gonna start with the first person who's giving a speech. And I think that's Natalia. Natalia, did you prepare a slideshow?
Yeah, I prepared.
Okay. Are you able to share screen?
I'm not able because you are sharing it. Oh, it seems like I'm able. Uh, okay, I'm doing this. Do you see my screen now?
Yep, good luck.
Okay, and do you see slides changing now?
Yeah, I can see everything. You're good.
Okay. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. So, my name is. First, I wanted to say good evening to everyone. And those who have already watched our previous ENGin Inspires event knows me, but for those who don't, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Natalia Kashuba. I'm studying at the university and I'm learning software engineering as my major. My today's topic is business etiquette of Lithuania. I chose this topic because Lithuania is a developed country and it helps Ukraine now, but unfortunately, many of us don't know much about this culture, though it is very similar to ours. That's why I decided to explore its business etiquette. Hope you enjoyed my speech. So let's start with meeting and greeting because it is always a beginning of any relationship. The most common greeting is a handshake, of course, with direct eye contact and a smile. But if you have already made friends with this person, greetings may become less reserved and can even include a hug. People are addressed by their honorific title and their surname. You should wait until invited before moving to a first name basis. Now let's see business basics. When you are contacting a business, try to stay formal and adhere to conservative etiquette and protocol. Keep in that there is difference between younger entrepreneurs and older business people. Younger business people are generally more open to new proposals, so that's why they are more eager to do what is required to close the deal, while older business people prefer a more bureaucratic approach. Okay, so how to build a relationship with Lithuanians? They prefer face-to-face meetings because we need to build relationships of mutual understanding. They prefer to turn their business relationships into a friendship. That's why it is important to accept the offers of hospitality and
I think she has internet connection, so we'll just wait. Which is Maria Gladden. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sorry. Is she here? Maria, are you here? Okay. Is Alexandra here? I think she is. Oh yeah, perfect.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Do you want to go ahead, give you co-host?
Yes, let's start. Can you? Okay. Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Okay, I can see it. Good job.
Okay. Yeah, and is it changing?
Yes.
Oh, great. Well, for today's topic, I decided to tell you about my experience in ENGin. But first of all, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Alexandra and I'm 16 years old. Now I'm a student at school. I study online in the Ukrainian school. Yeah, and everything is going online. But actually, I was born in Chernihiv, Ukraine, but now I live in Slovakia in Europe. I moved here approximately 7 months ago, and this country is really great to Ukrainians, so I like it very much. My hobbies are traveling, self-development, business, psychology, reading, and of course, learning languages. That is why I decided to take up ENGin and try myself in speaking with international body. And I want to let you know about my English journey. I started learning English as I think many pupils do at school. I've been learning it for 5 years without any additional help. But once I won a competition in English language, and after that, I decided that it wasn't enough for me to study it only at school, and I decided to took up private lessons with my tutor. And actually, she advised me the ENGin program. She just sent me a link, and I decided to try and apply for this program. And the following day, I got an invitation letter. I was so excited about this moment. And in 2 weeks, I started my communication and with my body. Actually, it was very exciting for me. And I am with the ENGin program for 1.5 years. Yeah, that's right. And of course, every session is marvelous with my body. It's very interesting for me. Nevertheless, the ENGin program also helped me to try myself as a speaker. And there was a speaking event on the 21st of June this year. I was a speaker for American students from Stripe Private Academy. I told students about my experience in war, and it was really exciting for me. It was the first time when I gave a real speech to other people. And there you can see a poster that American students created for our event. It was actually very funny, and it's really important, I think, for many Ukrainians, this support. Yeah. And in 1 year, I managed to improve my English language from B1 to B2 level. I think it's pretty good result. And this year, 1 month ago, I applied for the program, Erasmus Plus project. You can see some photos from this program. Thanks to developing my vocabulary, of course, speaking and writing skills, thanks to my body, I was shortlisted for this program and had an amazing experience traveling abroad and meeting new people. So that's it. This is my experience. And to sum up, I just want to say that ENGin for me is not only a communication with a friend. It's a life-changing story that really boosted my confidence and really helped me to improve my English speaking and writing, and of course, vocabulary skills. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to talk with other people and to present topics to you guys. So that's it. Thank you for your attention. That was my presentation. Thank you.
Good job. Awesome. I loved your presentation and your English is really good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Natalia, are you ready?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can just resume where you were.
Okay. Let's start. And I wanted to show which slide did you see like already? I think that we have stopped on communication slide, I guess. Okay, so although most Lithuanians are industrious and hardworking, they are very modest, and people who brag are deemed arrogant. But at the same time, they are impressed by titles of authority and advanced university degree. So it is always a good idea to tell your status within your company unless you brag. Lithuanians speak softly, they don't express much emotions, and they are polite and never interrupt each other while they are speaking. As I have already said, Lithuanians company still have hierarchy and bureaucracy as the key traits. Many Lithuanian companies adhere to hierarchical structure. This means that several senior level businessmen only speak with people of their same rank. And if you are a junior member of a team and address a senior level businessman, it would be a breach of etiquette, so try not to do this. And it is very important that you don't display any anger, even if you're very frustrated by the excessive bureaucracy. Now let's see how to prepare for business meetings. In Lithuania, appointments are necessary and should be scheduled 2 to 3 weeks in advance. You should send a list of the people who will be attending and their titles, so the Lithuanians can assemble a team of similar level people. When you arrive, try to confirm your meeting and again the day before the meeting, because meetings are sometimes cancelled on short notice. If you are preparing a presentation, keep in mind that presentation should be thorough, clear, concise, and include backup analysis to support your position. Now let's look at what business meetings look like. Punctuality is important and valued almost everywhere, and especially if Lithuania, so make sure you arrive on time for meetings. Meetings are formal, though there will be a period of small talk. Don't hurry up to take your seats and wait to be told where to sit. In many cases, you will be seated across from someone of a similar level. Expect to discuss each point thoroughly before moving on to the next. And be prepared to meet with several lower level of people before getting the actual decision maker. Now let's move on to the most interesting part here, as I think it is negotiations. And what is most interesting for me here is that Lithuanians often use time as tactic, especially if they know that you have a deadline. That's why it may be not a good idea to tell your business colleague that you're under time pressure. Otherwise, they can delay even more. Lithuanians will not be rushed into making a deal, but they must think it is in their best interest before agreeing. Meetings often conclude with a summary of the discussion and a toast to future dealings. And that's all for now. So I wanted to bring this quote. This is actually my favorite quote on business. It is said by Rand Fishkin, and it says, "Don't build connections, build relationships." I wish you good luck in any your relationships, whether they are personal, business, or any other relationship. I wish you good luck in your career, and I really hope that at least something of my speech was interesting for you.
All right, awesome. That was super informative. I learned a lot. Okay, so 2 of our people aren't here today, but that's okay. So one person was unable to attend, but they did send a video. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. So this is Andrea, and he is a cybersecurity student and he likes improving himself. His hobbies are English and football. So yeah. Awesome. Let's start.
So, hello, my name is Andrei, and today we are going to talk about self-development. I have listened to many speeches about this and always dreamed of doing this myself. So, let's start. Self-development is a big fancy concept that has a different meaning for everyone, but generally it's about three things: reading books, meditation, and workouts. And here is the thing: a lot of people think that this requires a huge amount of time and hard efforts. In fact, it's not true. All of this can be done in 15 minutes. So just 5 minutes for reading, 5 for workout, and 5 for meditation. Done. Mindful practices like meditation and gratefulness are especially important nowadays. Tons of information, uncertainty drops on us on daily basis. In such conditions, time to clear mind, recharge, and just be present become beneficial. Workouts also have positive effects on our brain. It's proven that sport helps us to improve old and create new neural connections. Of course, with workout we want results overnight, but it isn't work that way. It's more important to incorporate these habits and make it a lifestyle. And last but not least, reading. Social media and news are typical reading nowadays, but books have a lot of valuable insights and can improve your mental health also. So it's okay, it's not even about success, business, or some non-fiction. It can be fiction, it's not so important. It broaden our mind and help us to be creative. Really, all of this more about consistency and discipline. Compound effects work everywhere, from finances to personal life. And those who implement this have better results than the most of people.
Okay, that was his speech. That's a pretty cool speech. Self-help. It was really short. I like that. Yeah, okay, so now we're on the last person who is going to go, which is Anastasia. Are you ready?
Yeah, I can try to share my screen right now. So could you, oh my God, just a second. Could you tell me, please, do you see everything?
Yes, I
I
can see.
see.
Yeah, is everything working if I'm doing like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Good. So I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the personal development. So I'm going to continue this topic. I think it's really right to do it this way. But first of all, I want to mention that the personal development is really connected with my life. I love everything that is connected with the self-care. I'm going to talk a little bit later about it, and especially with the personal development. But let's start with myself. So this is me, and this is my life a little bit. So my name is Anastasia, Nastya. It depends on which country you can say wherever you can. And I'm 18 years old, and I'm a student in Ukrainian university. I'm studying the international relationships, and now I'm living in Germany, unfortunately, because of the situation in our world. And I decided to put here my mood board. Actually, it's also connected with the self-development. I'm going to tell a little bit later about it. But looking to my mood board, what we can tell about myself. So first of all, I'm a dancer for all my life. I'm dancing since 5 years old. I'm really keen on learning new languages. Besides Russian, Ukrainian, and English, I also speak Spanish, and I'm learning Deutsch, German right now. And also I'm a traveler. I'm visited already most of maybe 20 countries. I think I haven't counted it, but I think most of all this amount of countries. And here I have some inspirational quotation like, I built myself, I don't stop when I'm tired, I deserve it all, the career. So this is the question about the affirmation in my life, which I'm also going to talk a little bit later. So let's start with the topic at all about the personal development or self-care. So in my personal opinion, the personal development is connected with the mental health, which we really, I want to say like should, but in some kinds like must take care of to be really productive and happy with your life. So first of all, the personal development is looking inward and focusing on way to better yourself, about your better version of yourself. Personal development is thinking about your self-awareness, self-esteem, increasing your skill and fulfill your aspirations. So basically, as I've written right here, it's all about what you do every single day. So new things lead us to a different way. Sometimes we are too focusing on our future goals, but not on our like daily habits. And I want to share a little bit with you some my questions which I'm asking myself regularly while I'm doing something. So would this be the best version of me? What do I mean by that? When I have some obstacles or some questions in my life, I'm always standing in the moment, like pausing in this moment and thinking about if my like best version gonna do this or not. So we don't have our particular, I mean, the meaning of the best version of yourself, but everybody has something that is created in our mind. So I'm thinking about if my best version gonna do this, I definitely gonna do this. If not, I'm quitting this time. So how good can get this? How far can I take this? So it's all about the personal development. It's all about thinking about my future and your future, of course. So moving to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit more about the evolving habits in our life, which is making us more, making us developers. So some questions which I'm asking, like, if you're not, then who? And also the question why you can change, why I can change. So the first topic which I want to tell a little bit, it's about cleaning your environment. And it's not only about the people around you, which is drowning you, about the things which is drowning you. So here I write this, let go drowning things, or do not hide unwanted things in the fog. This is actually a quotation of the book which I had read recently. It's 20 Rules for the Life from Jordan Peterson. I'm going to tell a little bit later about this book. So it's about cleaning your environment. It's about let go all things and everything that is drowning you. Moving to the next, it's about the reading. Previous speaker already told a little bit about the reading, and I'm 100% agree that this is involving us. And it's the things that which involving and care, it's about evolving and caring about your mind. So it's not only evolving like in the question to deep your knowledge, to increase your vocabulary if you're reading in another language. It's about your mental health, and it's about to make yourself more calmer. I mean, if you're reading just before you're going to sleep, like for example, 30 minutes before sleeping, you will becoming more relaxed and you can calmly go to sleep, for example. So the next one is taking benefits from your hobby. I'm not want to pay your attention only for the sport activities. It's not necessarily about the sport. Yeah, we know that the sport is producing the endorphins in our body, but it's not everything about the sport. It's also mental activities. What I mean by mental activities? Drowning, I don't know, it's everything that's not connected with the physical activity. So people can do a lot of things actually besides sport activity. About myself, as I told you, I'm a dancer for all my life. So this things which is I'm taking from this a lot of benefits. So what is your hobby? What inspires you? What makes you feel alive in this life? The next one is about listening, podcasts, YouTubers, and other people. So podcast or YouTubers, it's to let your mind to like eat really useful food. I mean, when you have something that is evolving you. Of course, I want to say that we should like entertain ourselves by watching something entertainable, but at the same time, we should watch someone or something that is inspiring us in some way, and other people. I want to add another quotation from the book, is that understand that the people around you might know something that you don't. So we should really listen people around us to understand even opposite points of the view, to understand each other and to understand this life at all. Meditation, it's about self-awareness. It's, as the previous speaker already told, meditation is grounding us. We can relax, we can understand our feelings, we can fulfill ourselves, and it's also connected with the yoga. Yoga is also about the self-awareness. Affirmation, I can name this, like it's my personal thinking, brain factory programming. So affirmation, it's not about expecting when you're saying something in the air and you should receive something. It's not working this way, of course. And a lot of people not believe in it. But affirmation is the thing about really like programming your brain to the right things. You should really read some books either or listen to some people which is talking about how to correctly work with your brain. If we are not correctably working with our brain, we are using just not 100%, but for example, 80% of our brain. But we want to be more, we want to self-development. So yes, sport. As I told you, sport is about the producing endorphin in our body, but it's not necessarily about the going to the gym every day. You just can go for a walk in the morning or before you go into sleep. It's evolving you mentally and in some kind also physically. Journaling. Journaling, it's about fixing your mind. It's about, you can find some pictures on the Pinterest, for example. I'm sure that everybody's connected, everybody's aware of the Pinterest. You can find some pictures which is written question you can use either for the heartbreak, either for hard situation in your life, or just when you want to do something which is going to develop yourself. So you can use Pinterest for this, or I also want to mention the question of the shadow work. You can Google shadow work if you want to on the internet, and you also can find some questions which help you to understand yourself. So when you understand in yourself, you understand in others. Studying. Here I want to put phrase, what you know is not enough. It's not about spending 15 hours in a day reading something, staying consistent in this question, yes, but it's how you can use this information after, how it's going to work with your life after. Not about how many pages do you read, but how you understand it, how you're going to do this in our world. So it's about studying. It's not only about school or university, it's about international opportunities, for example, like ENGin, or it's about your hometown opportunities. So you can find either of them. And noticing I'm grateful for. So before I'm going to sleep, for example, I'm always writing down what I'm grateful for today, to understand. And this is actually becoming my habit, and I think can become everyone's habit. So while I'm doing something during my day, I'm thinking about, oh, okay, I'm going to fix it. I'm grateful for this. Yes, I'm grateful. I'm good. I'm evolving. My gratitude for myself. Moving to the next part is that I mentioned previously, but I want to be a little bit deeper in this kind of case about atmosphere, about environment, and about self-awareness. So about the atmosphere, you should try to create desires, of course, and dreamed atmosphere about you. So what I mean by this, if you can't influence deeply some kind of situation, something happened like badly, for example, in my life, you can create desired energy around yourself by making, for example, as I showed you in the second slide, my mood board. So I'm just used Pinterest for this, and I just made it, printed, and put it in my wall, put on my phone screen, laptop screen, etc. Try to travel if you have opportunity for this, because it's deep in our experience. Try to make networking, because, for example, now we are making networking, and I think it's great to meet new people from different countries, because it's always evolving you. Overall, try to change the scenery and find truly yourself. Let go people who are no longer serving you, drowning you. And it's about the mindset that nothing lasts forever. So even if it's hard for you, you should really let go of people who is not ready to be here for you. If they not support you, if they drown in you, and you know this, it might be sometimes like easier to accept this, but in the end of the day, we are who are living this life, not these people. It's our life. Be ready to say goodbye, because nothing lasts forever in this life. Otherwise, we can surround ourselves by people who is ready for us, who is evolving us, who was and still hear from us. Be grateful for what you have. These people, accept it like it's God's present, and treat these people right. And the last, it's about finding yourself. So love yourself, be grateful, dream big. It's about working on your self-esteem by loving yourself, work with your different opposite thoughts, work with your traumas, so never hide things in the fog, fix plans for your day, for your months, for your year, for your future, dream big. Never be afraid of the big dreams, because they are leading you for your desired future. Why to be afraid? What in the world is impossible? It's possible. For you, it's possible. If you let yourself think about it, it's already possible. And so here in this slide, I add some useful resources which I used in my life. So my personal favorite non-fiction books. This is the book actually that changed my life completely, as you can see in the screen, like this big picture. So 20 Rules for Life, 20 More Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Probably you can heard about this book. The Mountain is Yours. And here you can find some YouTubers. The Wizard List, probably someone heard about her. She's really popular right now. Fernanda Ramirez, Jordan Peterson, Tony Robbins, and another one. So this kind of useful resources which I can share for you for the self-development. And in conclusion, I just add some quotation from the books which I recently read, and everybody can find their own meaning in that. So I'm just gonna read this. It's stand up straight with your shoulders back. Treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else today. Set your house in the perfect order before criticize the world. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Assume that the person you're listening to might know something that you don't. And it's a gratitude moment. So my biggest thanks actually goes to the ENGin for involving my life, and as well for my buddies. It's Snezhana Vodolaska and Maria Tkachenko. So it brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you learned something new.
That was a great speech. I really like the quote where you say it. The quote where you said to stand up with your back straight, because I think that's so important in confidence, right? Because I struggle with doing that and standing up with my back straight.
Yeah, everybody's struggling with that, I think.
It's okay, hard. So we're gonna have a little Q&A session. So if anyone has any questions, this is your moment to ask each other questions about each other's speeches. Well, I personally have a question for Anastasia's speech. So you were saying if nothing lasts forever and we should let go, what would you do with parents who don't support you?
That's actually, I recently read a book, the book you wish your parents had read, and your children gonna be grateful if you do. So if you're talking about the parents, it's really hard question about that. I heard some people which is saying that you should really try just to distract from this kind of thing. So you can either, like, if you have problem in this kind of case, you should try to find opportunities in other place. You should try to create the family outside of the family. I mean, you should try to find people who is supporting, who is there for you, who just like, okay, you are doing great. Anyway, like, you are doing great. It's working with your mentality. It's working with the questions that, I mean, it's a parents, it's a family. You should be like, you, of course, you're feeling yourself not so good when it happens. But anyway, you just try, people should try to accept it, and people should try to move forward, because family is great. Yes, family is forever, but your life, at the end of the day, you're living your life. So it's my personal opinion concerning this.
Another question, how many countries have you visited and what have you learned from your travel experience?
Actually, I've never counted like the amount of the countries.
Have you been to
it's
Canada?
around-
I see a Canada
Yeah,
flag.
yeah. I've been to the Canada, like I returned from the Canada just a week ago, so I'm just currently like living, moving every time. I think it's approximately 20 countries, and first of all, for me, I learned a lot actually, starting with the languages, because why I know Spanish, because I have like Spanish friends. I mean, they're from Mexico, from the Spain. And it's about to know other people, I mean, nationalities, cross culture, different languages, different even opportunities, because as Alexandra told, I also been participating in the Erasmus Plus programs. So I know how it works when you're meeting people from different nationalities, and how it's interesting to learn about each other countries and traditions, customs. It's really interesting because they can be weird sometimes for us, I mean, but they can be really interesting, which we want to experience. For example, like Thanksgiving Day, which is going to be like tomorrow. Yeah, I want to participate in the Thanksgiving Day. I was once in the Thanksgiving Day in the United States. It was fun. So
Yeah, lots of
it's
food.
about the question about the experience, I think. More experience, more people, networking, all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question for Alexandra. What exactly is the Erasmus program? And like what was most challenging for you in that program? Because I've never heard of it, but it sounds really cool.
Really, my speaking buddy also never heard about this program. Actually, Erasmus program is a kind of a program where you apply. There are many opportunities from the participants from any countries, and you have to fill in a short application form, and hosts of the country, they just shortlist some people, some participants from each country, and actually just people from different countries gather together in one country, in one place, and during the particular period of time, you learn something. There are many topics of the programs. For example, my topic for my previous project was rural entrepreneurship, how to create your own business idea into reality. So we learned a lot about business. There were participants from Poland, Romania. By the way, my program took place in Romania. So there were people from Poland, Romania, Ukraine, and Lithuania also. So you just gather together in order to learn about new cultures, contribute your own knowledge and experience. That's it. The most challenging was to overcome the fear of maybe like not communication, but interrogation with people. It was really hard there were 56 participants, and you had to just communicate with everyone. And it was a little bit strange for the first time, but after some period of time, it really was great. It was okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great response. It sounds like a really cool program, and I like how there's so many different cultures can join together and interact with each other in one country. Yeah. So if anyone has
I also have a question to Alexandra. How long did this program last?
It was about 12 days plus 2 days for the road. Like 2 days you had free of work in the program, just in order to get to the place where it was. So approximately 12-14 days, but it can be different. There are many programs, and it can be like for a week, for 2, for 3, and more. It has an option like volunteering. You can also not to participate, to be a participant, but to be a volunteer. If you choose volunteering, it takes, I don't know, from 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, to 1 year, to 10 months and more. So you should read some information if you want to participate.
Yeah, I see. And how volunteering is different from participation?
If you participate, if you're a participant, you just learn something, you attend lectures, you have some fun, and just learning about new cultures. But as a volunteer, you actually work here. For example, teaching, I don't know, children Spanish, for example, yeah, or planting trees in order to be more eco-friendly. So this is the difference. So you, if you are a volunteer, you contribute, not learn, but contribute. This is the difference.
Thank you, Alexandra. Now it's all clear.
Yeah, great response. So if someone else wants to talk about like what topic they chose, and why they chose that topic, that would be great. So like, I mean, anyone can go, but why did you choose the topic you chose kind of question?
I'm actually decided to choose like the self-development since it started to be like a big part of my life, because like especially when the war began in Ukraine and everybody was so desperate, I'm sure 100% everybody just lost like their self-esteem, like everything. I mean, and I was feeling myself also really drowning, really desperate. I was so tired with everything, and I decided that like I need to live my life right now, and I need to develop myself right now, like not after the war will stop or something like that. So I just thinking about that I need to start right now. I need to start today, not tomorrow, not in the months. So this is the way of my self-development, and I'm feeling myself so different as it was like 8 months ago, or tomorrow going to be 9 months ago, and today. Like it's a completely different people. That 9 months ago it was a broken person, but right now I'm feeling myself like in a different way, and I gain a lot of experience, and I'm developing myself. So this is like kind of my past. So when I just seen this like topic, I'm just that's about myself. I should take this 100%.
Yeah, that was a beautiful response. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for all speaking. We're gonna do a little bit of activities because we still have more time. And this activity is kind of like acting activity. It's pretty fun. So we're gonna watch this video, and then afterwards we're gonna talk about what we're silent about. And yeah.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in a 1968 speech where he reflects upon the civil rights movement, states, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." As a teacher, I've internalized this message. Every day all around us, we see the consequences of silence manifest themselves in the form of discrimination, violence, genocide, and war. In the classroom, I challenge my students to explore the silences in their own lives through poetry. We work together to fill those spaces, to recognize them, to name them, to understand that they don't have to be sources of shame. In an effort to create a culture within my classroom where students feel safe sharing the intimacies of their own silences, I have 4 core principles posted on the board that sits in the front of my class, which every student signs at the beginning of the year. Read critically, write consciously, speak clearly, tell your truth. I find myself thinking a lot about that last point, tell your truth. And I realized that if I was going to ask my students to speak up, I was going to have to tell my truth and be honest with them about the times where I failed to do so. So I tell them that growing up as a kid in a Catholic family in New Orleans, during Lent, I was always taught that the most meaningful thing one could do was to give something up, sacrifice something you typically indulge in to prove to God you understand his sanctity. I've given up soda, McDonald's, French fries, French kisses, and everything in between. But one year, I gave up speaking. Figured the most valuable thing I could sacrifice was my own voice, but it was like I hadn't realized that I had given that up a long time ago. I spent so much of my life telling people the things they wanted to hear instead of the things they needed to. Told myself I wasn't meant to be anyone's conscience because I still had to figure out being my own. So sometimes I just wouldn't say anything, appeasing ignorance with my silence, unaware that validation doesn't need words to endorse its existence. When Christian was beat up for being gay, I put my hands in my pocket and walked with my head down as if I didn't even notice. Couldn't use my locker for weeks because the bolt on the lock reminded me of the one I had put on my lips when the homeless man on the corner looked at me with eyes up, merely searching for an affirmation that he was worth seeing. I was more concerned with touching the screen of my Apple than actually feeding him one. When the woman at the fundraising gala said, "I'm so proud of you. It must be so hard teaching those poor, unintelligent kids," I bit my lip because apparently we needed her money more than my students needed their dignity. We spend so much time listening to the things people are saying that we rarely pay attention to the things they don't. Silence is the residue of fear. It is feeling your flaws gut-wrench guillotine your tongue. It is the air retreating from your chest because it doesn't feel safe in your lungs. Silence is Rwandan genocide. Silence is Katrina. It is what you hear when there aren't enough body bags left. It is the sound after the noose is already tied. It is charring. It is chains. It is privilege. It is pain. There is no time to pick your battles when your battles have already picked you. I will not let silence wrap itself around my indecision. I will tell Christian that he is a lion, a sanctuary of bravery and brilliance. I will ask that homeless man what his name is and how his day was, because sometimes all people want to be is human. I will tell that woman that my students can talk about transcendentalism like their last name was Thoreau. And just because you watch one episode of The Wire doesn't mean you know anything about my kids. So this year, instead of giving something up, I will live every day as if it were a microphone tucked under my tongue, a stage on the underside of my inhibition. Because who has to have a soapbox when all you ever needed is your voice? Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very inspirational TED Talk. If you aren't aware of what TED Talks are, it's basically an organization where people also give speeches and anyone gives speeches at them. So they're pretty cool. Yeah, so I have one question for everyone, and it's what are you silent about? It doesn't look like many of you are silent about stuff because you all were here to give speeches today and you spoke about really great topics. But if you are silent about something, you should definitely share. And if no one feels comfortable doing so, that's okay. We can move on to the next slide. Okay, that's okay. All right. For slide 8, right before we end, we're gonna have a little fun activity. So we're gonna speaking is all about expression, right? And what emotion you use into it. And like it says in the slide here, enthusiasm is contagious. You know, it spreads to people. If you want your audience to be hyped up and get really excited about a topic that you're talking about, you need to show enthusiasm and passion for it. So like you're gushing. So we're going to gush about something we don't like. So, you know, if you don't like learning math, you can use enthusiasm to talk about it and be like, oh, I love math. It's so cool. And now it sounds like your audience is excited about it. And you can use whatever for it. So if you don't like the rain, but if you hate the rain, you know, then again, you can talk about like, it's something so exciting, and you can use your voice to make and body language to make it seem like the most exciting thing in the universe. And I think that's a great way to improve your enthusiasm when public speaking. So if anyone wants to go and just talk about an object that they don't really care much for, like, you know, maybe like a piece of paper or something, and you can talk about it like it's the most exciting thing in the universe. Does anyone want to do that?
Okay, I think I can start. I think that thing I hate most is joke. So I'm going to talk about this. Like, chalk is amazing when you touch it. It's such a feeling that it's impossible to forget, and it will make you enthusiastic for the whole day.
Yeah. So you just talking good about it and being enthusiastic can make something that what might not seem really cool seem super cool, and doesn't have to be something you don't like. Like this is an eraser for a whiteboard. I could talk about how cool this eraser is. This is so cool, right? You can use it to erase stuff and it's just amazing. But it's not necessarily amazing. But if you add enthusiasm to it, whatever you're talking about, when you're giving a speech and you're passionate about something, just adding enthusiasm will make your audience more convinced and will also get them excited. So if you want to change the world, right? If you're enthusiastic and passionate about the idea, and doesn't have to be something you don't like, because everyone wants to change the world. But if you're enthusiastic about it, your audience will be excited about the topic. And I think that's one of the key points to public speaking, is to just be excited about it. Before we end, we're going to allow everyone a chance to, even if you're just a participant, we're going to let everyone talk about where your name comes from, just as an opportunity to practice speaking in front of a small group of people, because I think we have like 9 people or 10. So if anyone wants to talk about where their name comes from, you can go ahead and unmute.
I think like concerning my name, everybody knows that this is like, as far as I know, it's like a Russian probably name, or which is using in the different childhood tales like Anastasia or Nastya, Nastusha, all this stuff. So I know that this is definitely European name, and actually I was named after my grandmother. So first of all, I should be like Alexandra, so I should be Sasha, but my parents decided that it's better to name me after my Großmutter. Sorry, I'm saying in German because I just had my German lesson, my grandmother. So yeah, but it's definitely European name, like it's 100% from my land.
Yeah, cool.
Actually, it's a Greek name, and it means resurrected.
Okay, that's actually really interesting. I just, I hadn't paid a lot of attention to this. I never thinking about my name, like fully from which, country or part of the world it is, because like, it's probably like Ukrainian or Russian name, but it's, I'm not so familiar with the Greek history or something like that. So thank you. I will, I think, read after our session about it more.
Yeah, I think just learning about your name is pretty cool. Recently, my English teacher made us write a poem about our name, and I learned a lot. So it was super cool. Also, in this little activity we do, we can talk about the name of anything. So, where, the World Cup, right? Why do you think they call it the World Cup? Like, does anyone have an idea of origins? Because I don't. If anyone likes watching football. No one knows. Yeah. Why do you think calculators are called calculators?
Because their main purpose is to calculate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And computers are called computers because they compute, that kind of stuff. Or, why do you think notebooks are called notebooks?
Because it is a book to write your notes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just a short little thing. But yeah, where did that name come from? It's origin, fun little activity. Okay, so before everyone leaves, thank you for today's event. It was super great. I loved all the speeches. And just every event I learned more and more about different topics and what other people's perspective from different countries. You guys are Ukrainian, right? So like it's super cool to listen to your take on these topics that it's like a different perspective, and I think it's so cool. So here's a Google form that you can fill out. Just be completely honest in it. It's just like a feedback form. So
but we need some sort of allowance to open this form. We say that only people
Do we need
from
permission?
the organization can view it.
Okay, one moment. Changing that. But yeah, just once the permission thing changes, feel free to fill it out. But yeah, everyone's speech was so great today. Does anyone have anything to say about each other's speeches? Okay, it should work now.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, everyone's speech was so good. I don't have a favorite. They're all really good.